Let's go for it. Andrew, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Nick?
I'm very well. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, so this COVID-19 thing, everyone is in self-quarantine, and
But
I'm also just staying home most of the time. I do go out for a run almost every day, but stay away 2 feet away, 6 feet away,
yeah,
and have this, social distancing and everything. But yeah, I do miss workout a lot.
you're setting a good example by practicing the social distancing.
Yeah.
Before we start, let's tell everyone who you are.
Well, my name is Andrew, and I'm a day trader. I trade the stock market for a living. I work from home, and yeah, it's been almost 5, 6 years now. I'm day trading. My background is in chemical engineering. I'm a chemical engineer. I did my studies at back home in Iran for bachelor and masters, and I got my PhD at UBC. I worked as an engineer and a chemical engineering research scientist until 2015. But in the meantime, I was learning the stock market, and I was really interested in day trading, trading in general, not day trading. And I just mess around with the market until I think it was in 2015 that I got laid off from my job, and I was unemployed for 5, 6 months. And I said, you know what, let's start trading a little bit with a little bit of savings that I had, and I just got hooked up. And since then, every morning I'm trading. I do also run a community of traders. It's a bear bull traders, and a bunch of people, all traders online. We're joining together in a webinar environment, and we trade together.
Very cool. Well, you and I first started working together. You're a client of mine, and we started working together back in, I think, 2014. Was that right?
Yeah, I think it was.
And when you first started working with me, you were working the 9 to 5 job.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't until recently, in the past, would you say 2 years, that you became a full-time day trader?
I was, yeah, until 2 years ago, I had a job, but my job was kind of flexible. Until 2 years ago, I completely quit, and I'm a full-time day trader. But I was day trading since 2015 and end of 14.
Right.
But because we are in the Vancouver and West Coast time zone, the timing is really good for trading because U.S. market opens on 9:30 in the New York time on the Eastern time, which is 6:30 here. So
Okay.
I was waking up at around 5:30. You remember we had some classes 4:45 to 5.
4:45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had 4:45 to 5:45, and then I was going home, get a coffee, and then start trading at 6:30. And then I was finishing by 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was going to my job. I did it until early last year, so almost 2 years ago, but I just stopped because I just really didn't need the 9 to 5 job anymore, and I wanted to focus on my own trading and an own business of running a community of trading.
And a lot of people wouldn't take that risk. They'd take the nice, safe 9 to 5. I mean, you had a very good job with what you were doing. But at the same time, now you have a lot more flexibility in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Well, I didn't take the risk either at the beginning. I mean, I kept my job when I
right.
was trading almost full time, not full time, but I was making decent money out of trading. But I did keep the 9 to 5 job
Okay.
until I reached to a certain point and certain stability, financial stability, that I said, okay, it's not really worth for me to keep the job. And, I always do the recommendation to people that if you want to become a trader, don't quit your job, keep the job just running for a couple of years. When you really get into a point that you feel confident, then that's the moment that you can actually quit your job. Because if you quit your job and start trading full time, and you want to learn and you focus on making a living out of that, then it's psychologically it's very difficult.
Right. So Andrew, you pretty much just taught yourself how to buy and sell and trade stocks. And I don't want to go into it too much detail because I'm sure it would probably take us hours for you to explain how you follow the market. But is there a specific time of day that you do your trading?
Yeah, mostly 6:30 in the Vancouver time on the Pacific time zone,
Okay.
6:30 until 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Which
Okay.
the Eastern time zone would be 9:30 until 11 o'clock in the morning.
So you're working about an hour and a half a day.
Yeah,
And
almost.
once you're done trading, is that it? I mean, you run a business too, right?
Yeah,
So,
so I do have a business, so I do teach people to trade.
okay.
So, we do have a website online that people come and we have courses. We
Okay.
teach them, we mentor them.
Right.
We provide different educational videos every single day for them. So that takes a lot of my time, but I do have a lot of free time. You know,
Right.
after I finish trading twice a week, I come to you. We work together at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I do travel a lot. So that's another thing that you know as well. But overall, yeah, I have a lot of free time.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to get into because I've known you for a long time, and I mean, I knew you before you were doing this job full time, and I knew when you were doing a 9 to 5 job, and now you do have the flexibility to travel a lot more. And I think since you started full time day trading, you've traveled. Oh, I think you're gone at least 2 weeks of the month every month,
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
and you've traveled a lot of places.
Yeah, no, I mean, traveling has always been my passion.
Right.
One of the reasons that I was really, resilient about trading, because it's very difficult at the beginning. You know, you get punched in the face a lot. Trading is really difficult. Like any other business. I mean, like
Sure.
any other business, it's very difficult at the beginning. But one of the reasons that I really survived was because I really wanted the lifestyle. You know,
Sure.
it's awesome. Trade 2 hours in the morning and then that's it. You know,
Right.
you can go travel, and if you have a laptop and good internet speed, which almost everyone has on the phone, you can travel anywhere around the world and trade. So I really wanted the lifestyle, and that caused me to really be resilient about the early failures and difficulties and challenges, and waking up 4 o'clock in the morning and doing the workout and all of those stuff because I love the lifestyle.
So you don't miss your old life, the 9 to 5 job.
Not at all. No, not even a second. I mean, no disrespect to people who do the 9 to 5 and corporate job, of course,
Right. No, no.
but uh, it's just the flexibility and the freedom and the thing that comes with it. And not everyone can get that. I mean, it's not really that easy, but it
No.
comes with a lot of challenges as well. But I love the lifestyle. But I don't miss going back to corporate life. Yeah, I do miss something. Let me tell you that. I do miss a social element of being in a work and corporate environment and working, because trading is a very lonely job. You
Sure.
and your computer, and you just charts going up and trade and make money. Yes, you make money, but you don't make friends. There's no social element. There's no interaction. I do
Right.
miss that part. But because I'm teaching, because I do also have a business around community and education, so I do get a little bit of that social interaction with people. But generally, trading is a very self-isolating career. So I do miss that part.
And what's the name of your business?
Bear bull traders, like
Okay.
bear animal, bear bull traders.
And so, I mean, do you guys work with like someone who's completely new to the market and needs the guidance, or do you only work with people who are experts in the field of stock trading?
Yeah, we do have all sorts of range. I mean, we have people who have no idea how to trade, so we
Okay.
give them a simulator to practice in then, and then they open an account and they start trading, all the way to people that they've been trading with us for 3, 4 years. And what we do is usually the more experienced traders, we help new traders. We mentor them and teach them and help them to get onto their trading career faster and do less mistakes, and just some sort of a peer support.
Very cool. What would you say to somebody? I mean, look at the economy the way it is now. I mean, it's no secret the stock market is tanked. And for someone like myself, who I don't even want to look at my portfolio right now, what are you seeing as the market going right now? Like, what are you doing right now with the market?
There are two aspects to that. As a day trader, we do make a lot of money right now because the volatility is just amazing.
Right.
Every day the market goes up 5%, drop 10%, goes back up. This volatility is amazing for making money
Okay.
as a day trader,
Sure.
as an active trader. But a lot of people, including you or a lot of my family members, they're not traders, they're investors. They have money into the market, invested, either they're doing it themselves or something. They're not doing really well right now. And essentially we are in a bear market because the economy is in a recession. All of the businesses are shut down, and the market has dropped, as everyone knows, 30-40%. I'm not worried about that much. I'm also heavily invested in long-term accounts.
Okay.
I have a lot of stocks, a lot of ETFs and funds that I don't trade them every day, but I just kept them in my longer, and they're really doing bad. But I am not worried about that much because I'm still young. I have 30, 40 years of working ahead of me. I don't need that money right now.
Right.
And I can hold on it. I can sit on it for 1 or 2 years of recession and downtime until it goes back up. it's a different story for someone who is very close into the retirement or are into the retirement.
Right.
Um, but those guys have to have a different strategy when they're investing in the market.
Sure.
But you and I, because we're young, we still have a lot of, we can sit on this loss for decades. We
Right.
don't need to do anything rush decision. So I'm personally not concerned that much.
So your advice to say someone in our age demographic, anywhere between the 30s and the 40s and even in their 50s is don't panic, just sit still for now.
Yeah, that's essentially what I'm saying. I mean, of course, it depends on what exactly you have. But
Sure.
if you are well diversified and if you have a good investment, my advice for young people, 30, 40 people, is you don't need the money. And look at the history. Every recession, every disaster, from 1925 Great Depression all the way when the Nazi Germany attacked France, all of those crashes recovered. I mean, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year. You and I can wait on that.
Right.
Eventually, we'll come back. So don't make any rushed decision. This is the worst time that you start panicking and doing stuff that you shouldn't. I have one very close friend that she's not really into the market and she doesn't have any finance background and stuff. She just called me and said, "Oh, this is my, uh, you know, children's college fund. I want to sell all of them." And I told them, no, don't do anything. Just
Okay.
let the bankers, let the professional do the job. You don't involve because you don't need the money now.
Right.
It's a different story if you need the money right now, but don't
If
make
you're
me rush decision and stuff.
right, if you're nearing retirement and you need the funds coming out, I get it. Yeah. Or if you do need the cash right now.
Yeah.
Um, with what's going on in the economy right now, as far as COVID-19, you and I are not working together right now. I mean, the gym is closed. You and I can't train. We're practicing social distancing. What have you been doing to keep your fitness levels up?
Well, I do a lot of running. That's in terms of fitness. So I think we are in the situation that thank God we can actually go out.
Yes.
There are some cities, there are some countries that you're not even allowed to go out.
Yeah.
So the food has to be delivered to you, or you can just go once a week and buy food and come back. So I can go and, we are living in Vancouver.
Right.
I know a lot of gyms in our building, our gym is closed, so you can't go use the treadmill. But who wants the treadmill when you live in Vancouver? I mean, it's
Right.
crazy. This
Yeah.
place is so beautiful. Yeah, it's a little bit of rain, but you just put a waterproof jacket, light jacket on, go for a run. Just put a cap on it. A little bit of rain hasn't killed anyone.
No.
Yeah, I live in downtown, so through the seawall, it's an amazing run. And just so beautiful. Even during the rain is beautiful. Go in the morning, there's a sunrise. Go in the afternoon in Third Beach sunset. It's just amazing. I mean, if you live in Vancouver, in downtown, you have to run outside. I mean, I
Sure.
have a friend. He was running on a treadmill. I told him, "Are you crazy?
Yeah.
You're living in downtown Vancouver. You run on a treadmill? Yeah, get out and just run and in the streets and in seawall. It's a
Yeah.
great time to keep the fitness."
No, that's great advice. But you're also downplaying this running of yours because I know for a fact that you've done multiple marathons, multiple huge, huge treks. Tell people what's your main passion with climbing.
My main passion.
One of your main passions with climbing.
So I was a climber. I did a lot of climbing, and I still do love climbing, and I try to get into that. But I'm into trail running now. So
Now more into trail running.
yeah, trail running, because in trail running, you can run a trail that usually people take 3 4 days to hike and camp and sleep. You can just do it in a day,
Yeah.
and you can see everything, you can experience everything, and it's a very time efficient way of experiencing a new area. But
Right.
climbing for me now is very time expensive. You have to go on camp and expeditions and stuff. But because I have a business and I want to run, I want to trade, so I just do running and then coming home, trade. I travel all around the world. I went to Iceland, New Zealand, Arizona 2 weeks. Last week I was in Arizona, just running and then come and home, get work, and take a shower, trade. And yeah, it's just I'm into trail running now to answer your questions, and I just enjoy the flexibility that trail running is giving me.
And one of the reasons I really, really wanted to have you on, and I was so lucky because as soon as I asked you, you're like, absolutely, is I use you as an example to a lot of my clients. I say, I've worked with, and I always tell them about you. A lot of my clients know who you are. And I use you as a perfect example of someone who was, not that you were not happy working the 9 to 5 job, but you wanted more. You wanted that flexibility, not necessarily for the income. I mean, the income doesn't hurt, but you wanted more of the freedom, the flexibility of the lifestyle to do what you want when you want to. A lot of people have lost their jobs now. You were in a similar situation to this a few years ago, and that's what kind of propelled you to start day trading. What do you say to people right now who've lost their job and they're sitting at home and they're like, what do I do next?
Well, it's a tough, it's a very difficult question. It's a difficult situation because when I got laid off, I was lucky to got a really good severance package.
Right. Okay.
I had enough cash, and I was young, and my partner was still working, so I didn't really have a concern about money.
Okay.
But a lot of people who lost their job, they might not have enough savings, and they might not really have the opportunity to start a new business or take new risks.
Yeah.
Those of them who are fortunate enough to have some cash and they are healthy and they're young, this is a good time to think about maybe doing some online businesses. That was the time that I started writing a book when I was unemployed. In 5 months, I started writing a book.
And you put that book on Amazon, right?
Yeah, it is. It is being sold right now on Amazon. It's a bestseller. And I sold hundreds of thousands of copies of that book.
What's the name of the book?
How to Day Trade for a Living.
Okay, we're going to put that in the link below.
Yeah,
so people can check that book out. And it's on Amazon.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. You could just go search on Amazon, Andrew Aziz. I mean, there are a couple of them coming up, and you can look at them. And yeah, it's a great time to kind of self-evaluation. If you want to reinvent yourself, if you want to take a course, if you want to learn something new. I'm actually thinking of starting learning Spanish.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I have time. I'm at home. Why not? I always love to learn a new language. Spanish is one of the easiest language, and I love South American culture. And I traveled there. I want to learn that.
Sure.
I mean, for those of them who can't do anything right now. I mean, I know there's a lot of government help, government support, EI, and everything. But as long as you're stuck at home and you have no other choice, this is a really good time to try to reinvent yourself.
Sure.
Go after passion, go after business. Now, these days, a lot of work can be done online. There's a lot of courses. There's a lot of certificates. There's a lot of things that you can do online. Right. This is a good time to focus on that.
There's a lot of opportunity to be made right now.
Yeah.
Just like you said, there's always, like for you, for a day trader, this is a really good time in the market. You can buy low and sell high and go back and forth. I was talking to one of my clients yesterday who's lived through 3 recessions, and he was telling me, he said, recessions are sometimes the best thing to happen for him. He said, because he's always been able to find an opportunity. So he doesn't panic. And I think what's happening now, we have a lot of people, I mean, you and I have both worked through a recession. We're around the same age. So, we both witnessed 2008. We both lived through it. But there's a lot of people who are younger than us who have never gone through this before.
Yeah.
And so it's a scary time for them. So I think...
there's only one thing that I have to say. This is it's a really good time for trading and getting into active trading.
Okay.
If you don't know what you're doing, it can also be really dangerous.
Right.
I tell my students that, it's like learning how to ski in a fresh, deep powder after a big storm.
Right.
It's fun to ski there, but if you want to learn how to ski in that situation, it might be tough. So you've got to be careful. If you want to get into the online trading, so you've got to also be careful that these are not ordinary times. So you have to be careful to talk to someone who knows what they're doing so they can give you advice, and don't gamble on your money. And there's a lot of opportunities, but can be also very dangerous times. So if you want to get into the financial market right now.
Do you find with the market the way it is right now, you have a lot of people reaching out to you now with your business and saying, hey, help me, guide me? Have you noticed that? Yeah.
I mean, it's since this week, actually, significantly, the number of the people who are reaching out to us has gone up. I mean, like 20-30%, which is, I think, is a great increase.
Good for you.
I think one of the reasons is that because people are at home, they have more free time. And they also read the news about financial market, and they're interested to. And I think the world has changed. I mean, you and I are do-it-yourself kind of attitude. When we want to know something about nutrition, I know you do your own research. I know I talk about nutrition about you. You do your research. There's always information. So we don't want to other people do this stuff for us, even the financial. More and more people want to take control of their own life, own money. That's why I think we are just getting an increase in the people who are coming us for just education.
Right, right. No, that's really good advice. And it's funny that you say that because there's a lot of people right now, and I think they are wondering what to do. And like you're saying, don't dive into the deep end just yet.
Yeah.
Now is not a time to make big purchases or make huge investments in something that you don't know anything about. So it's good to also work with a professional like yourself who can help guide you through uncharted waters right now, because that's what we're in.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to ask one more question before I let you go with regards to COVID-19. Have you yourself noticed, I mean, we talked about this already work-wise, but as far as your personal life is concerned, I mean, with family, I know you can't be as, you and I aren't working together, for example, we talked about that. But as far as like friends, family, and stuff like that, because I know you're a very social guy, you're always so upbeat. How has that affected your mood? This
My
last,
mood.
yeah. Do you feel
Well,
lonely or?
the fact that we're not able to socialize that much definitely has an impact on everyone.
Mm,
So it's very important. I think this time is very important that you make sure that you keep your diet well, uh, stay hydrated, stay away from smoking and alcohol and stuff. Because if you get the virus, I mean, this virus is not something extraordinary. It's like any other thing is always attack the people with the least strong immune system. So
correct, yes.
you got to keep your healthy diet and habit specifically in this time stronger.
Yeah,
Um, my mood is, I mean, I'm a social guy, but
you are.
have
Yeah,
to really, you have to deal with this situation.
yeah,
That just keep the spirit high, try to be active as much as possible.
yeah.
I saw a video that someone did a marathon on his balcony in Spain
Oh,
because
wow.
they're not allowed to even come out. So
Right,
the
right.
balcony, he did actually 3,000 times just back and forth.
Oh my God.
42 kilometers. I mean, that's a great mentality that
Yeah,
you want to keep that thing. You have a healthy diet. You want to stay away from sugar, stay away from I don't know, a lot of things that affect your immune system.
of
But in
course.
I would think based on what I see, I think everyone will get it eventually. The
Yeah,
COVID-19, it seems that it has become a pandemic and everyone is getting. And I think, and I've read that somewhere that the more people get it, the virus become weaker and weaker.
I've read that too.
Only a
Yeah,
small percentage of the people would actually die. Even older people would recover if they have
right.
a strong immune system. So
Yeah,
everyone would get it. So you just have to make sure that you're strong, healthy, and yeah, it's just like a flu. This flu season, a lot of people get a flu, but they recover from that, and that's it. Yeah, that's unfortunately the situation.
no, and you know what? That's great advice because that's one thing I've been getting a lot of emails from other clients and saying to me, "Hey, I'm going to put my diet on hold for a bit. I'm not going to do much for training." And I'm saying, that's the wrong attitude. Just because the gym is closed doesn't mean that you have to stop taking care of yourself. And like you said, now more than ever is the best time to take care of your immune system. So, you want to really make sure you're staying on top of that because something like this, it's wiping out a lot of people. And yes, there's older people with compromised immune systems as well, but there's a lot of younger people it's affecting too. So it's something to take serious. And I think the best thing you can do is build up that immune system by staying strong and healthy. Just like you're doing, right? You're not having any Kit Kat bars, right?
No, no, sugar is done. No, that's
Kit Kat bars used to be a means vice.
I know, yeah. Well, Nick has done a lot of work for me to one step at a time. I'm not doing Kit Kat anymore, but I
Yeah.
do have some other stuff, a little bit of overeating and stuff that I have to work on that. But you're right. Life has always been survival of the fittest.
Yes.
So no matter what age you are, no matter where you live, you always have to keep yourself healthy. Especially food is the medicine, is the most important thing. I mean, you and I have done a lot of discussion about food, and I'm
Yeah.
on that. And I actually really enjoyed the fact that you did 50% of all of your online programs. I love that.
You're giving me a shameless plug here.
You are in the fitness and health industry, and this is exactly where people need that.
Yeah.
And you actually provide an opportunity for them to come and benefit from that. And you and I have done two diet. You did two diet for me, and I know how amazing you are. And I think it's great. This is exactly the time that people like us need someone like you in the
Well, thank
fitness
you.
industry, in the health industry.
I appreciate that. And one of the reasons why I offered that 50% discount during this time was not to just make a sale. I realize a lot of people are struggling financially, and I'm hoping that helps them stay on track. And funny enough, Megan said to me the other day, she's like, "Oh my God," she's like, "Have you seen our online nutritional plans? They've blown up." So I don't know if it was a good idea to do that because we're going to be busy for the next few weeks. But at the same time, I'm very happy that people are thinking about their health right now.
No, that's
And
great. Yeah, that's
yeah,
great. I mean, it's also, as you mentioned, that the community of the people that you're serving, you want to help them. I mean, if
right.
everyone in a financial trouble, you help them. I mean, I got a Twitter campaign that just go and buy a gift card from the small businesses that you always use. Just
Right.
support them. Just put some cash ahead of the time to support JJB, to support like a Starbucks. Starbucks is not a small business, but all of these local small
You
businesses,
want to
buy
support.
gift cards ahead of time, help them a little bit during this time.
Yeah.
You got to use that later.
Yeah, because the small businesses are really going to struggle over these next few months.
Yeah,
And especially in a city like Vancouver, where commercial real estate, as you know, is so high.
yeah,
So hopefully everything works out for the best for everyone.
yeah.
I mean, if someone wants to get in contact with you for day trading, how do they do that?
So they can email me,
Okay.
Andrew at bearbulltraders.com, just the
Okay.
animals, bear and bull
Right.
traders.com, or they
Okay.
can check our website, bearbulltraders.com.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I'm also on Instagram
Great.
and Twitter and Facebook with the same name. So anyone in social media want to send me a message, bear bull traders, like bear, like grizzly bears, bull traders.com.
I'll make sure to put all your contact information below a link to this video so they can get in contact with you, because I have a feeling you're probably going to get even more busy in the next few weeks.
I mean, I still have a lot of time. So,
Yeah,
and we are a big team. It's not only me. So, I mean, I have time for every email, every inquiry, every
right.
chit chat. So it's not that we're that busy now.
That's great. I mean, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate you sharing your story. I'm hoping it helps motivate other people to take this time to work on themselves, work on their business, and like you said, reinvent themselves.
Thank you so much, Nick. I miss you much. And yeah, hopefully everything is coming down and we can do some training together.
Oh, definitely. We'll be back in the gym soon.
Back to you soon.
I need some Andrew time. All right, sir. I'll see you there, and you have a great weekend.
Thank you so much, Nick.
Okay,
Cheers. Bye.
thanks, Andrew.